Welcome to this tutorial on American Fiddle tune, Turkey in the Straw. So this is from the adult Faber Piano Adventures Book 1. All right, so for this piece, we're really diving into a lot of legato into staccatos that we saw in the previous song called Musette, which is like on the page right next to it. And also covering paddling for intro and outro, and accenting where needed. So a lot of little things to consider, including quarter rests. So really acknowledging the rests when they come up. So we have half rests and quarter rests. So the first thing is take out the pedal. So don't even worry about those pedal markings on measure 1 and 2, and then 13 and 14. So just keep everything no pedal. So for intro and outro, which if we compare measure 1 to 3, measure 13 to 15 are exactly the same. So let's definitely cover that first. So we have, instead of being down here, which is where we were for Musette, we're going to be up at our, I guess, call it regular G position, because that thumb has a ledger line note, which is D, which is up here. And then our opening and outro are all fifths, 1-5, 1-5. So when we're counting, acknowledging the rests, so we go, and also, by the way, from fingertips, because this is forte and accented, so really big sound on these chords. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then short. So keeping in mind those half rests. So I don't know if you saw my hands, but I did a little like higher lift to just show that we need to acknowledge that half rest. 2, and then the left, and then right, right, left, right, right, left, left. And the good news is the outro is exactly the same. Okay, so moving on, if we were to go into that bar 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. And then this is where the melody comes in on the pickup or upbeat on beat 4, where it says mezzo piano. So instead of trying both hands right away, let's just go through with the melody. So we're not going to worry about these chords. They will be easy to put in. So really focusing on our 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1. Those eighth note beats, right? So if we're just isolating those moving lines without the chords, let's go through the process together. So starting on pickup into measure 5, left hand, right, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3. So paying real attention to how the legato to staccato is set up, in particular for these two bars at measure 7 and 8. So we go with how we were doing it earlier with the 4 and 1. And then this is actually going to extend a little bit further out into the next bar. 3 and 4 and 1, 2. So you want to wait for that staccato on beat 2 instead of beat 1, which is what we saw a bunch. So 3 and 4 and hold, short, short. And then it resumes back to how we did pick up into 5. Measure 9. Here's where it changes. And that's the end of that third line. Okay, so pick up into measure 10 and 11 and 12. Let's focus on those for a second. So measure 11, we have that little skip, kind of a back-to-back skip. 3, 5, 5, 3, 1. So a lot of skips in that particular bar. 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and short. So the eighth note's going into measure 12. That's actually kind of keeping to what we were doing with the 4 and 1, where you're going to do a staccato on the downbeat. So keeping that in mind. And we're also doing a little crescendo as well. So that could definitely be practiced in. Da, 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 da. Rest. So leaning in, more pressure on the eighth notes into the downbeat. All right, pretty good. So now adding in the chords. So we have our G chord, followed by our D7 or 5/7. So this would be 1, 5/7 if we're in G major. And then measure 9, G chord, followed by second, third in the bass at measure 12. So let's start right at pick up into 5 with the chords this time. 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1. 4 and 1. Together. Together, together. So what's really nice about the chords is the fact that both hands are lining up with the staccatos and they're playing together at the same time, which is great. So we don't have to worry about opposites or anything like that. So make sure when you approach those are super short, keeping it really close to the keys. And then going to our last measure at the very end of the piece, which we didn't talk about, that's where we have another chord. So if we're going from 13, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, short, 1, 2. And since that has an accent sign and we're forte from measure 13, just really dig into those keys, nice big sound. And also right hand, acknowledging the rests that are in that measure. 1, 2, 3. So that left hand comes in on beat 3. So you want to let go. 2, 3, 4. Awesome. All right, last step is adding the paddle. So since you're starting off with a pedal at the very opening, I would actually just put my foot down, ready for that pedal. So coming in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, off. So I know with the pedaling, the sound is going to continue on into the next measure. So it is going to blend, but we still want to acknowledge the rest. So that's why we do the without pedaling with the both hands to really hear where the rest should be. So keeping that in mind. And then going to measure 13, it's the same, although we are coming in from measure 12, 2, 3, rest, and then pedal. So get that foot ready, off, 2. So when you're at the rest at measure 12, pedal down, pedal, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you need to write pedal at that rest, just as a heads up, because our eyes are going from end of the line into the next line. That's kind of a good reminder for what's coming up with the foot and the hands. So I find writing in any reminders definitely helps a lot.